Hey guys, it's Nick with Braindead, and in this video we're gonna recap the events of The Thing, John Carpenter's second best horror film. I mean, what can I say? I love Escape from LA. As someone who really appreciates good makeup and gore effects, it was almost a given that I would love this movie. I mean, it's one of the biggest, bestest practical effects films of all time. Damn near all of the creature designs are iconic. Remember Flower Face Dog? Remember Tooth Face Man? Remember Head? I fucking love Head. This movie is great though, with its themes of paranoia, mostly memorable characters, and I say mostly because there's just so many of them that there are clear standouts and clear not so standouts, but they still did a great job considering just how many there were. And of course, the practical effects. This recap was suggested by Cult Spaghetti Trash Movie, and if you want to see me cover any specific film, just go ahead and leave it in the comments or at any of my social media accounts, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you, Cult Spaghetti, so much for the suggestion. I swear I will get to the rest of your suggestions eventually, but for now, let's get into John Carpenter's The Thing. The movie opens roughly 100,000 years ago with a flying saucer crashing into the Earth. Don't worry about how I know it was 100,000 years ago, I'll explain later. Cutting to Antarctica, 1982, we find a couple of Norwegians in a helicopter chasing after and shooting at a dog. But the shooter turns out to be a pretty shit shot, so they chase it all the way to the nearby American science base, where one of them manages to let a grenade slip out of his hand.
I dropped my grenade somewhere over there.
The other not dead Norwegian then starts yelling at the Americans who don't understand because none of them speak Norwegian. I'm sure it was nothing important though. Nothing important at all. He opens fire on the dog with no regard for the American safety, which gets Bennings shot in the leg and the Norwegian himself shot in the face. The Americans then begin discussing what they should do next, seeing as how radio operator Windows hasn't been able to contact anyone for weeks, and their logs state that there should be 8 more Norwegians at their respective base. They all come to the decision that Pilot McCready and Dr. Copper will go to the base to file a formal complaint. When they arrive, they find the place is in ruins and no Norwegians are in sight. Spoke too soon. They find one guy in a chair who seems to have slit his own wrists. They also find a huge block of ice with a chunk taken out, as well as some sort of grotesque amalgamation.
Is that a man in there or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with or something. They're able to bring the thing back to their base to examine it, and biologist Blair finds that the insides are normal.
Heart, lungs, kidneys, liver seem to be normal.
I love that cut.
Seem to be normal.
Later, Clark the dog handler kennels the dog the Norwegians were shooting at, and it soon starts to transform into The Thing. As it pisses all over one of the dogs, Clark and the rest of the group come back to see what's going on. The Thing tries to escape into the ceiling, but Childs comes in with a flamethrower and torches it. Upon investigating the dead dog thing, Blair realizes that the thing itself can imitate other living organisms perfectly. And here's where the paranoia begins, as Blair starts to suspect Clark as being The Thing.
What the hell you looking at me like that for?
I don't know, it's probably nothing.
The Americans then find where the Thing's spaceship crashed thanks to some videos they found at the Norwegian base, and Norris, the geologist, theorizes that the ship must have been there for 100,000 years at least. They also find a smaller block of ice cut out, no doubt the block seen earlier at the Norwegian base, you know, the one with the alien-sized chunk taken out of it. When the Americans get back to their base, we get what is usually seen as the worst part of this movie, a computer program that shows us how the Thing cells work, as well as calculate the probability of at least one team member being the Thing, as well as calculate how long it would take the Thing to take over the world if it reached civilization, as well as produce a gun for Blair to use later. What an oddly specific computer program. Windows and Bennings carry the amalgamation into the storage room, and when Windows leaves for a moment, the once thought dead Two-Face Thing comes back to life and starts to assimilate Bennings. Windows then rallies up Du Bois, and they all gather around the Bennings Thing and light him up. The only one not present at the Bennings bonfire is Blair, who seems to have gone missing. Oh, there he goes. He must have just been busy fixing up the helicopter. Well, shit. On top of destroying the helicopter, Blair also destroys their radio comms, making it so they have no way out of Antarctica. But even worse than damning them all to a freezing death, Blair also killed the rest of the dogs. That's where the crew draw the line, and they all band together to take Blair down and lock his dirty dog-killing ass in the tool shed. Copper then suggests doing a blood test using some of the blood they had in storage as a way for them to tell who is human and who is the Thing. However, it seems that the Thing got to the blood first, contaminating it beyond use. While the group argues about who could have done this, Windows takes off down the hall, grabs a gun, prompting Gary to pull his gun on Windows. But before someone can make a Mexican standoff joke, MacReady talks them both down and reluctantly assumes command over the group. And his first order of business as their new leader, drug and tie up Copper, Gary, and Clark, cause we can't fucking trust those guys, they'd be sus as hell. About an hour later, the group realizes that Fuchs is missing, and they all pair off to go find him.
I ain't going with Windows. I ain't going with it.
MacReady, Knowles, and Windows head out to go ask Blair if he's seen or heard from Fuchs recently, but he's not much help.
Blair, have you seen Fuchs?
I don't want to stay out here anymore. I want to come back inside.
As they're heading back in, they find what is assumed to be the burned remains of Fuchs, something they suspect he did to himself so that he wouldn't be assimilated. Knowles and MacReady break off to investigate why the light in Mac's shack was on, while the rest meet back up at the base. After roughly 45 minutes pass, Knowles comes back alone, suspecting MacReady as the Thing. Speaking of Mac, he finds his way back inside himself through a window in the supply room and gets cornered by the other men, who don't really want to get thingified. Fingered. Oh no, what have I done? During a struggle between Mac, Knowles, and Norris, Norris has a heart attack and they're forced to untie Dr. Copper to help him. With his hands now free, Copper tries using the defibrillator on Norris, but as MacReady burns the Norris thing, its head detaches, grows spider legs, and tries to scamper away, allowing Palmer to give the best line of the movie.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Then Mac torches the head too. The second order of business for newfound leader MacReady, tie everyone up, ain't none of these assholes trustworthy. Clark isn't ready to be tied down though, so he lunges at Mac with a scalpel, getting himself shot in the head because Mac is a regular quick draw cowboy. I mean, have you seen his cool ass hat? He has the idea that every piece of the thing is a separate, self-preserving animal, meaning that when a piece of it gets separated, i.e. its blood, that piece will still try to survive.
Crawl away from a hot needle, say.
He confirms that Windows, Copper, Clark, and himself have not been fingered. That's a thing now, I'm making that a thing. And could you please, for the love of God, stop making that sound every time I say thing. It was funny, all right? It was funny, and then you did it 100 fucking more times. Stop. Just stop. Seriously, stop. When it comes time to check Palmer's thingness, MacReady's theory is proven correct, as his blood does try to escape and the Palmer thing starts to transform. It escapes its constraints and, due to a malfunction with the flamethrower, is able to kill Windows by turning him into a floppy-legged dummy. MacReady finally gets his flamethrower working and takes care of the Palmer thing, who bursts his way outside, and Windows, who was mid-assimilation. After this, they clear the rest of what remains of their group, save for Blair, who is still shunned for what he did to those dogs. And just to be clear, what remains of the group is MacReady, Knowles, Childs, maybe Blair, and Gary. No last name given. All but Childs venture off to go test Blair, but they only find an empty shack and I guess a hidden door underneath the floorboards. They tunnel down to find a makeshift spaceship that the Blair thing was working on. And on their way back up, Knowles spots Childs running around outside, which is very, suspicious. No time to dwell on that though, since the generator has just been destroyed and the entire base is going to be taken down to 100 below in a matter of hours. The guys, realizing that the thing wants to freeze again, wait until they all die and a rescue team comes by to unearth it again. Or un-ice it. They also realize that they're probably dead no matter what they do, so they may as well take the thing with them by blowing all their shit up with dynamite. As they're rigging up the explosives, Gary is flanked by the Blair thing and promptly assimilated. Knowles goes to check on Gary without telling Mac where he's going and disappears? Like, we never see him again in the movie, so I guess he got assimilated too? I just assume that he got added to the Thing mass, similar to that monstrosity from Slither. The Thing charges MacReady from below and steals the detonator, but Mac's got another stick up his sleeve. Another trick of dynamite.
Yeah, fuck you too!
You know, I've always thought that the Thing looking down in that moment was very Looney Tunes. Like, I just want his gross dog thing head to look back up and be like... MacReady somehow survives the blast, as does Childs, who was nowhere to be found while all of this was happening. The movie famously ends in ambiguity, with Mac and Childs suspecting each other of being the Thing, and us, the audience, never truly knowing if either of them are. Thanks for watching this. Okay, hold on. I can already hear you clacking away on your keyboards. But Nick, you can't see Child's breath, so he's totally the Thing. Yes, you can see his breath. It's right there. Look. See it? That is breath, without a doubt. Sure, it's not coming out like MacReady, who looks like he just smoked a whole pack of cigarettes and is now exhaling for the first time, but that is breath. 'Kay? Childs is definitely a Thing though, right? I don't believe him for a second. I saw Blair and I went after him. Yeah, right. He totally got fingered. He got fingered real good. For real this time though, thank you guys so much for watching this recap. You should subscribe if you made it this far, because clearly you enjoyed the content. And I have plenty more planned, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. I really hope you guys like the new set as well. It took me a while to put up, and I'm gonna have to take it right back down after this because this is where my work from home station is, meaning that I would have to take time to put it up and take it down every single recording session, which is a real pain in the ass. I'm also going to be launching a new channel soon where I will be delegating all of the live streams. So if you're interested in the live streams that I usually have done every Thursday on this channel, go subscribe to that. Link should be in the description right now. You can also follow me everywhere on my socials at Braindead Horror, where I will be trying to post more often. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys again real soon.
Drill Sergeant, I dropped my grenade somewhere over there.
Shoot him, fuck him out!